My name is Shanae Kramer, and this is my husband,
Nick.
So we met at work. I used to work for him, and
It's it's a love story that nobody could have seen coming. She worked for me. She was one of my better workers, and one Christmas party we had, there was just God in the works. We felt it amongst both of us inside. Just standard talking came about, and something just came over us. And so, not wanting to break the rules, I transferred her out of my store, and 3 weeks after we started dating, and 3 weeks after that, we actually became engaged. I asked her to marry me. I knew she was my soulmate. I had never had any intentions of getting married or wanting to get married until I met Shanae. And the happy story that we thought was going to be, the real world sort of took over.
yeah, so it was the beginning of our relationship. We had that connection, and we felt that connection, but I don't think we knew really what it was or what it meant. And there was a lot of lies in the beginning of our relationship, and a lot of hiding things, and I was damaged for years, for a long time. I mean, it took me a long time to forgive him, even when he wasn't asking for forgiveness. I felt that that was something that I needed to do for my soul and my connection with God. So, I mean, even years later, after we were married, we just continued to have problems and have issues.
And we went to church, and it wasn't until we let God fully into our life. We were at church. We showed up to church. We did our worship. We did our Sunday services. But we weren't embracing God the way that we needed to. And you could tell with the fragility of our relationship. It wasn't on a solid ground. It wasn't something that you would want your kids to see growing up to have. It was lies, deception. It was the opposite of what we listened to Pastor Dave on Sunday sessions.
Yeah, it's like our relationship started on sand, and so nothing was ever going to build on that. Our family, our relationship, our marriage, ourselves, really, nothing was going to build on that. And so I started with having that foundation for myself, and God being my foundation, and then that turned into the foundation for our marriage, and that we were able to build on.
And that brought us to renewing our vows. So when we got married, we just eloped thinking marriage was going to solve everything, knowing that we were married and that's what God wanted. We felt that. We still had that passion for each other. But as Shanae said, it was on sand. Everything we would just fall so quickly. And we wanted to renew our vows with God, with Pastor Dave, with the family of the church, and with our family, and let them know that we're going to raise you with God as your foundation. And without God as your foundation, nothing is stable. Nothing. You may think you have something, and you really have nothing. And the renewal of our vows, the vows portion, they were pure. They were, if you were in attendance, you were shocked in the beginning. First lines of Shanae's are, I asked if she wanted to marry me again, and she said no. And we're at the renewal vows.
And that was like 2 weeks before he had asked me, "Are you ready to marry me?" And I said, no. I mean, we were going through so much. I alone was going through so much. He had just, our vow renewal was 13 days after he had back surgery. And then before that, there was 3 other surgeries. And so I alone was going through so much, and it just affected our marriage. And so I felt like, no, I don't know. I don't know if I want to get married again, but because God is our foundation, I knew regardless of how hurt I was or down we were, whatever it was, God was going to have us, because that's what we were building our foundation on.
And both of our vows were pretty much hand in hand, almost identical, and about God being the foundation. And if we don't have God as our foundation, then we don't have a happy marriage and we don't have a happy family. And that's key to us continuing to have the marriage that we want to have, is having God as our essential.
And the one thing that we talked about for that day is we didn't want the day to be about us. Even though, it's a wedding, it's supposed to be about us. We wanted our focus to be God, because the reason we were there was because of God. And that's the only reason. There's no other reason that we were standing there. And I was probably mad at him a little bit, still, but I'm still in love with him every single day. And so for us, it wasn't a celebration of us, but it was a celebration of God being our foundation and being our rock, being in our lives, and us being where we were because of him.
One look at you, my whole life falls in line. I prayed for you before I called you mine. Oh, I can't believe it's true sometimes. Oh, I can't believe it's true. I get to love you. It's the best thing that I'll ever do. I get to love you. It's a problem.